What's up, everybody? My name is GiftTime and Bailu. I'm here with Flynn for Rugby Sense. We are here where we talk about rugby news and entertainment from the last week, taking 5 minutes and then maybe some change.
What's up, everybody? Good to be back. It's another week. Sorry I took last week off. Did a little spring break action over in Florida, down at the Floribama. Fantastic spot, by the way. Coming up this week, we talk Varsity Cup, Hong Kong Sevens, and checking in with our friends at PRO Rugby. Gift, how was the weekend? How was your Easter, buddy?
Dude, it was restful. You know, unlike many worshipped, I fell, I rested, and then I rose again on the third day. And by fell, it was a drunken crazy night. There we go. Drunken crazy night. I recovered, and then I rose like the Phoenix on Sunday. Call me sacrilegious.
Hey.
And what about you, man? How was, we missed you last week. Had a great show with Tozan from
It was good. I enjoyed it. I did get to catch it. It was good, man. Relaxing. Had some fun come from Chicago, being on the beach in March, man. You can't beat it. Getting into the Gulf, building some sand castles. It was fun, man. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Man, I'm sure there was a lot of stuff that was filled up during your spring break.
Can neither confirm nor deny.
Awesome, man. Well, look, let's kick it off right away. Varsity Cup. Dude, it's coming up 2 weeks from now. I keep always changing it, but it's August 9th. All right, August 9th. I get my fucking weekends all messed up. But it's August 9th, so we got the big one, Varsity Cup, BYU, Arizona State, Penn State, Dartmouth, Clemson, Arkansas State, Notre Dame, Navy, Texas, California, Oklahoma, Army, UCLA, Central Washington, Air Force, and Utah.
Say that 5 times fast.
I know, right? Like, insane. Big one. These 16 teams. Dude, talk a little bit on each one. Not gonna go to too much detail because we still got another week, and so we got to fill in some of these gap spaces. But dude, let's throw up 5 minutes on the board. Hit it up, man. Varsity Cup.
So 2015, how it went down was BYU and Cal hit it to the finals, and BYU took it 30-27. I think the Varsity Cups are really exciting. I think because it's the top programs in the country. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's a majority of the top programs in the country because they're still leaving out St. Mary's, they're still leaving out Lindenwood. But it's still probably the more premier
leaving out Life.
Life too, excuse me. Still leaving out Life. I mean, I think they're all elite programs. They're all legit, but I think some of the more elite, like Cal and A-State, which are the two teams I'm really looking forward to watching. Clemson, I'm excited to see how they're going to come out and make a statement after their school took away their home field. So they're going to have a chip on their shoulder, and they need to prove themselves like, hey, you want to take away our home field? No, we have something to prove in the Varsity Cup. A-State, Arkansas State, traditionally dominant, so I'm excited to see how they're going to do. So far this season, they took a 32-15 loss to Life, but they won 53-0 over Davenport. I think that losing to Life is big, but Life's not in the Varsity Cup, and honestly, I don't think a lot of the teams in the Varsity Cup could hang with Life the way Arkansas State does. So I'm really excited to see them. Cal, on the other hand, they're looking for revenge. Right now, they're sitting at 12-2, and their only 2 losses are coming from the British Columbia. But so far this season, they've outscored their opponents 648-70. So they're blowing out. Yeah, they're blowing out teams left and right. It's incredibly impressive. So yeah, they're ready. They're chomping at the bit to get after it. Definitely at BYU, but to reclaim their place as top team. So I'm excited. Those two teams I'm really excited to see.
See, I got to go a little bit differently. Though I expect BYU to be the incumbent, I actually expect them to actually be back in it. But I'm looking at Penn State to come back strong and the men's side. They're going up against Dartmouth in the first round. We'll end up playing BYU actually in the second one. So I think whoever wins that game is going to end up being the champion for the Varsity Cup. Another team that I'm really looking forward to see, Central Washington. Atavis team. Strong Atavis team. And they are getting that cool training coming from that group, and I think they're going to be the dark horse of this season. They're playing UCLA, not a good team, not just pretty okay, not great, not terrible, okay team. I think they're going to be strong. I think that one team that everybody is going to underestimate, though, even though you have them as one of your favorites, I do think is Arkansas State. I'd love to see what Clemson's going to do. Clemson beat them last year, 26-22 in Arkansas State. But I think Arkansas State takes this one. It's a young team, a lot of energy coming in from it, and there's a lot of stability, which I think is always the big thing when it comes to any kind of traveling. One of the two teams that I feel really bad for in this one, though, I got to say, University of Texas, University of Oklahoma. They're just not the same as they have been the last couple of years. Player turnover, coaching turnover. It's not as strong. Not to mention, you're not playing easy team. You're playing Cal, already second place, trying to come for revenge, trying to get their place back. And you're playing Army, another team that is well known for their hard-hitting, grounding rugby. Not the biggest backs play, but they will forward the crap out of you like crazy. So I think those two I think are going to be not so great losses along the way.
When you talk about Central Washington, what do you mean by cool training? Are they wearing backwards hat on skateboards and doing?
They're just chilling. They're cool as ice. No, I mean, look, they're an atavist team. Central Washington has been well known, even the women's team, and anybody has seen it, for being the hub for atavist training. You have Sarevi's daughter who goes to Central Washington. The men's club has subsequently been an advantageous component of it. I mean, it's pretty much all that, Seattle, Washington kind of advantage that goes there. The women have improved significantly, and we know that, but obviously this isn't about the women. This is about the men. The men who have built up more and more every single year since over the course of the last 3 years. And I think this is going to be one of the years that they absolutely break out. I think it's going to be something to watch. And I think they have a great matchup against UCLA, and if they beat UCLA, which I expect them to do, I think they're going to end up taking Utah in the second round. Utah's still a great team, still a tough team, but I still got to give it to CWU. I got to give it over to Central Washington. I just think that the matchup is just going to be very advantageous for them, and I would not be surprised to see CWU and UCal in the Final Four, setting up for a second place finish. So, setting up for the second place spot. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. April 9th is when the first game begins, and it's kind of gets crazy from that point on, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be lit. I keep saying it every week. Something different is going to be lit on this show, but this Varsity Cup is going to be lit. I mean, you get a taste of it in the CRCs, but that's sevens. Varsity Cup's a whole different ballgame, man. It's going to be awesome.
Right. And I guess whenever it gets around to May 2nd is when we get to see it on NBC, because I'm pretty sure we don't have any coverages of it leading into it, which is kind of weird.
Of course not.
I find that weird.
Cowards.
Cowards! You bastards! You fucking bastards! No. Alright, man. Dude, let's move on. Hong Kong Sevens comes up on April 9th as well. Started the Varsity Cup. Also the same weekend as Atlanta Sevens. Talked Atlanta Sevens a little bit with Tozan last week. Going to Hong Kong Sevens. Dude, let's throw 5 minutes on the board. Hit it up, man.
Yeah, so USA coming off a plate loss to Samoa, but they're still sitting fifth in the rankings. A pretty tough pool for them. Portugal, that shouldn't be a problem. But then they have Argentina, who's sixth in the world, and then Australia, who's fourth. So they have the fourth, fifth, and sixth right there in the same pool. How USA has been playing lately, this tournament, Hong Kong go either way for them. They've been kind of falling off. I mean, they weren't that impressive in Vancouver as we saw. I think what we talked about, they should still try to experiment with Baker and Isles on the same field, but for some reason they don't. But like I said, Argentina and Australia, two tough teams, the 4th, 5th, and 6th. It's going to be hard. But moving over, the team everyone loves to watch, Fiji, the team everyone has the target on its back, the number one team in the world. I want to know who did the pools, because it seems pretty rigged. They have Canada, South Korea, and Wales.
What
so
the? Well,
It's
I mean, if you want to get them to the cup, I mean, look, this is what
yeah.
happens when you're great. You
I
get an
mean,
easy game to the cups.
yeah. So I mean, give USA the one of the tougher pools, and then just Fiji's putting on their tap dancing shoes and just whirling in with the cane and doing the Saluki strut. I literally couldn't believe it. South Korea sevens versus Fiji. Are you got to be kidding me?
I got nothing. I mean, look, you know what? You never know. South Korea could be a real
South
dark
Korea
horse.
sevens.
You know,
South Korea sevens. South. I didn't know South Korea was even eligible for these kind of tournaments.
Well, that's the pleasure.
Because I
Hong
haven't been
Kong
in any of the
Sevens.
other ones. Have you seen any of the other ones?
This is
You ever
this
seen
is
them play before?
this
Because I
is
haven't seen them play before. And they put them up against. It'd be a thing if they put like Portugal, South Korea, and like Cuba together in like a sevens pool. But against Fiji, the number 2 in the world, you're literally just getting. And then Canada and Wales. I feel bad for this team. Then they have to go up against Canada and Wales. They're just going to get kicked around. But I don't know. That's not up to me. But yeah, to hit the points home, USA tough pool. Need to pick it up. Mike Friday needs to get his lineup situation straight, and then Fiji's going to tap dance their way to the cup.
Well, you know, they announced the lineup today. They already put him out. Carlin Isles is supposed to be back in the lineup again after, taking a break from Vancouver Sevens. During the Vancouver Sevens. We still got the regular cast: Carlin Isles, Ben Pinkelman, Danny Barrett, Garrett Bender, Zach Tass, Falun Nua, Mako Nufe's back in it, coming off from injury. Nate Osberger coming back from injury. Madison Hughes, Perry Baker, and Martin Osefo, was obviously Osefo being part of the dream team from Vancouver Sevens. I think the interesting addition is going to be Peter Tibiero, and the one part that was kind of a loss, but I think it's honestly deserved that he's not, is that, we know Nate Ebner was supposed to be back with Eagle Sevens, but obviously he's still in training. He's going to be there with the Invitational side, the Samurai something or other for the Invitational tournament. Get, I guess, his first little reps in a few months. So he won't be part of Hong Kong Sevens teams, but he will be in Hong Kong. So that'll be nice. But I think the addition, Peter Tibiero, he's going to be starting. This guy, he played a great match. He played a great tournament in the Las Vegas Invitationals. Playing with the USA Falcons, was able to win the cup, win the prize money. So, and he's played with the Falcons, the Eagles, before. He played in the first tournament way back in Cape Town, but hasn't played since then. So it's an Arizona State guy. Should be an interesting addition to it, but I think the really exciting part is having Maka Anufe back, having Nate Osberger back, having Carlin Isle back, having the full squad.
Yeah.
You have your squad.
Yeah, I mean, I think that could have been the other thing in Vancouver as well, as why they kind of fell off, because they didn't have the full squad.
Right.
Now having an extra, couple weeks of practice under them after Vancouver, now with everybody back, I think we'll see a whole new, well, not a whole new team, but we'll see the old USA Sevens, the one who deserves to be 5th in the world, back at it.
Right.
So yeah, like you were saying, so with the people come back from injury and having Carlin Isles back, I think it's gonna be a whole different ball game heading into Hong Kong.
Dude, I mean, I look, you can't say there's one thing that you can say. Look, the U.S. has a lot of top heavy talent, but our depth is shit. So whenever you lose guys, like, it's a big deal, which is why we're seeing
you're actually losing a big piece of the puzzle. Yeah.
Right. So it will be nice to have them, but they do need to get settled. Like, for whatever it's worth, let's try not to get injured in the first one. Like, maybe beat up on Portugal a little bit on the first one. Argentina should be a fun match in that one. But I really do hope they're able to get it. Perry Baker's on the bench for the first game, so I expect him to come back strong against Argentina. And then Australia seems to be the ultimate Achilles heel for this USA team. They have lost to them every single time they played them this season. So
big test.
Yeah, it'll be a big one. But it seems like the U.S. gets at least one major team that they haven't beat in each round. So in each series. So I mean, it was New Zealand last time. Before that, it was South Africa like twice. So I mean, it makes sense. It's hard being at the top and slightly at the not as good top.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, makes somewhat sense.
Makes some kind of sense, a little bit, sort of, maybe. All right, man. Let's go on. Move on. Pro Rugby North America. It looks like they are in preseason. They're back in They're starting training camp. You're starting to see the little videos pop up. You Pro Rugby San Diego with Snacks Lindersmith showing out all this stuff on Instagram. You got Pro Rugby Ohio. Them boys going up doing their thing. Paul Holmes doing their stuff. Not really seeing that much from Pro Rugby Denver. Maybe I just don't have a lot of Denver people in my life that I'm not seeing it, but I'm not getting anything from them. Same with Sacramento and San Francisco. So I need them to step their game up and be able to get it. So people like me who are out of the region, who though I'm not gonna end up being fans of them, at least at this moment, I'm Pro Rugby Ohio at this point. But it's at least get your stuff out. I'm getting San Diego, all right. I'm getting San Diego.
Yeah.
I got one Cali team. Come on, give me the other ones.
Pick it up.
Pick up your pace. So let's throw 5 minutes up on the board. Boom, dude. What do you think, man? It's coming together, slow and steady.
Yeah, I mean, we touched on this 2 weeks ago. It's exciting because
in the missing episode that didn't get posted because I got busy and blah 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 blah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, so like we were talking about, it's really exciting because now we're seeing it come into play. Like the teams are actually picked. They're actually starting to have a preseason now, and then we're seeing videos of their training camp, their training. So it's real. It's like Christmas Day, like, holy shit, here it comes. So that's what's really cool. It's not like the NRFL, who for some reason is still posting on social media, even though they're not a real thing. And now that we have Pro Rugby, they're never going to be a real thing because no one's going to want to play for them because they're not the legit pro league. So they should just delete their accounts, cut their losses, and call it a day, and refund all those people who flew out to California for the combine. Because I'd be pissed.
They do regional combines now, so for whatever reason,
for what? No, we're not talking NRFL, so I'm just gonna get pissed off. But like I said, it's really cool because now it's together. It's here. They talked about it, they implemented a plan, and they did it. And now the teams are together, so it's really exciting. But kind of the bigger news coming out is Kurt Morath. He's a Tongan fly half, and he played in the New Zealand U21 program. He just signed with San Diego. And then the All Black legend, I don't want to try to say his name because I will just butcher it.
The dude from the All Black Centurions.
Yeah, exactly. But he had like a bunch of caps with the All Blacks. He signed with San Francisco. So I think what that does, it's now legitimizing the league, and it's drawing international attention now from like Tonga and then from New Zealand. Like, all right, hey, the USA finally has a legit pro rugby league, and now our players are starting to go over and play with it. So it's added some legitimacy, and I think it makes it pretty cool. And now internationally known, like, hey, they're not kidding. Pro rugby's coming to America, and it's about time.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, there's been a number of interviews that's going on. I got to give big shout out to Mike McCarthy over at Rugby Wrap Up, being able to do a lot of a number of the interviews with the New York guys, aka all the pro rugby guys, aka Steve Lewis and Doug Schrodinger. And they've been setting it up, and it's becoming more and more legitimate. I think, like you said, the addition of a lot of these international guys who have had cap, albeit they're like 35, late 30s, mid
still
to late
old,
30s,
but yeah.
It's still something. I will take a veteran guy who has had a lot of experience, especially in this early stage, than taking no foreign players at all. Even though they have that 5 player cap limit, which is a little bit interesting to see how this will all work out.
Yeah.
But I think it's still really good. It does legitimize it. It makes it more believable. It makes you more excited. We're still waiting to hear what their streaming schedule is. These guys are, still old, so they're not really quick with it. I'm still predicting it's going to go through the rugbychannel.tv and RIM. And I still figure it's going to end up being one of those things. I don't see a TV channel taking it up because I think it would be way too costly at this point to do that, and you're not garnering enough of a targeted audience yet. But I don't think it matters. I think it's good the way they're going about it. People really keep harping on the fact that they're using a lot of social media to update their stuff rather than press releases or going through the news, and I think they're doing it in a really great way, which is a soft entrance. You don't need to kind of come out, kick the door down, light fires everywhere, throw out smoke grenades, and really put on a show for the first one. I do expect them to really show out on the first game, But with this opening, I really think that they're giving it a chance for people to come together, see it grow proportionally. Because in the end, this league is not for everybody who keeps asking for a TV deal, aka anybody over the age of 35. It's not for you. You will be the tail end benefactors, but in the end, it's for you, and it's for my generation, and it's for the generation after us. Essentially, that 18 to 30-year-old range who are used to this transitioning digital era. And I think they're doing it in the perfect way. Build it through your social media, because you're gonna be going there anyways, and then you reinforce it with your traditional medias, because you don't need the traditional medias. Fuck everybody who says you do. I think it's completely overrated to do it
Digital media
in a
runs all
foundation
now.
sense. Say what?
I said digital media runs all now.
Exactly. So I think they're going to end up going through it. I think they just need a matter of establishing what's the pathway that they're going to go within. But
Before we finish, I want to touch on this. I am a fan of the 5-player international limit per team because USA Rugby won't grow if you just stack a team with a bunch of internationals. So if you're starting 15s from New Zealand, England, Ireland, and Australia, and you have like 2 Americans in there, how is that going to help USA Rugby grow and get our players better? So I'm a big fan of that rule.
I 100% agree with that one. I think whenever I said it was an interesting, I guess maybe my concern is, does it mean 5 starters or 5 people on the team in total? And that's where it comes into iffy, because I hope
it's just 5 on the team in total.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, if you're just, I mean, sure they'll help in training, but even if the team's like, you could have 15 Americans and the rest be internationals. Like again, that's not helping USA Rugby.
Right, and in the end, it is supposed to be able to help develop the game. I guess I kind of look at it from an aspect, taking it from like Lindenwood, a team that we all know is grown, and they're one of my favorite teams out there, or even Life or St. Mary's. But they're a team that's based originally on foreign players, and even talking with them. I talked a couple weeks ago with their captain Mickey Bateman. He was even saying how whenever he first came in, the American players weren't really good. He was kind of worried, and then as they've grown, adding with the foreign player experience, they were able to create a turnover of talent and skill, and the American players were able to pick up on the nuances of those foreign players. So there's no doubt that foreign players are needed. This league would suck if it was just all American people. I do agree with the cap limit. I just do wonder how much you hinder back on experience versus that. But one of the other things before we do move on to final thoughts is that I do like the way they talk about the cap structure for this. They're paying the players all year round, so you're still going to be getting between 35 and 65,000, which is still
that's not bad.
No, it's not, because it's going to be better than a lot of the pro players that get in overseas. I mean,
I thought they were only getting 20,000.
Yeah, I heard somewhere between, I guess maybe between 25 and 65, but I definitely heard between 25 and 65. And a lot of it is going to be tiered on the fact that they are going to either be full-time players, who are the ones that we've already seen put up on the roster, part-time players who are signed in but are not able to move because they have families and whatnot like that. And there's just one more tier lower where they are they're still part-time as well. But there's some limitation. I can't remember. You can we'll put the link to the interview with Stephen Lewis. It was a really great interview. Again, Matt McCarthy, Rugby Wrap Up. Dude, share this, Matt. Share it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a really good interview. It explained a lot of stuff, and it was really nice because it did come on the tail end of the signing of the guy from the All Black Centurions, whose name definitely is slipping my mind though. All right, so dude, final thoughts for this week.
Oh, it's back to reality, man. This sucks. I gotta write a paper tonight. I do a bunch of other school stuff. It's horrible. I hate it. 5 more weeks and it's summer break vacation. I'm excited, man. How about yourself?
Back to freedom. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of relaxed. I got a little work to do over the weekend, but I'm not broadcasting any games until playoffs start for D1A, and then kind of moving on from there. You know, it's just a lot of build up and getting things in check and getting things ready. So I'm really happy. It's a light week, and I need to make sure I just take uber advantage of it. And that's all that really matters, is just take uber advantage of everything that comes along with it. So
I like that word.
Uber. Man. But dude, man, another great episode. It's great to have you back. We're probably gonna try.
Great to be back.
Yeah, dude, we missed you. We missed you. You know, it's not gift time and Flynn without Flynn. So
exactly.
We gotta try and make it happen. But for the rest of y'all, dude, let us know what you think about the rest of our topics. You know, what do you think is the state of pro rugby? How have you felt the development has been so far? And who do you guys have winning the Varsity Cup? We're gonna go a little bit more into it next week. You guys can look at the description below, find articles about what we've been talking about. Guys, go ahead and share, like it. You can find us on all the social media sites here on the side or underneath the video. Otherwise, dude, we loved having you. This is Rugby Sense.
No nonsense.
And we're out.
Boom.